Wait, it's going to be that way. Flip it around. Hey, everybody. It is 3:09 on the 20th of August. Thanks for tuning in. If you're live, thanks for introducing yourself. If you're not, watching this on replay, thanks for tuning in to find a little bit more about the GRIT plan and the schedule. So I will introduce myself quickly, say a little bit about GRIT, lay out what we have planned, and then answer questions. So uh, my name is Brant Miner. I think I know most of the people on the call, but I am from Southern Oregon, Grants Pass. Went to University of Portland where I played, was on the team, played, use that term kind of loosely. I was on the team, played in 21 college basketball games, and loved my time playing. And then I got into coaching right after that. So I used to coach at Southern Oregon University. I've coached at Warner Pacific. I've been at Pacific, and I'm still at Pacific now as an admissions counselor. So I recruit all students, not just good hoopers anymore. I recruit all students there at Pacific. So that's my full-time job, which allows me some flexibility, but also there's certain times where I'll be on the road traveling. So the fall is one of those times where I will be on the road quite a bit. I've run GRIT the last 3 years, though. Last year, we had one in the fall, two in the spring, and three in the summer, all high school boys. So I started it really for two things: development and experience. Those are the two things that I really focus on: development and experience. And so I'm not hyping up exposure. Obviously, if kids are good enough, I'm going to help them. I've been a college coach my whole life, and I just turned 40. So yeah. So it's been quite a while since I was playing, but I've been coaching. So if kids are at that level, I'm willing to stick my neck out and help them if they're doing what they should be doing. But I don't promote that as one of the main things about GRIT because I can't promise anything, or, it's a lot about the individual. But what I can provide to the masses is development and experience. So those are the two things that I'm really going to focus on with GRIT. And just so everyone knows, GRIT is an acronym. It is also one of my favorite qualities in a basketball player. Grit is one of my favorite qualities. But GRIT is an acronym for gratitude, resiliency, intensity, togetherness. So we will say that a lot. So if you are a player on the call or watching this on replay, we will talk a lot about gratitude. That's the G. And I think in our society now, I've heard that 80% of our thoughts are negative. And one way we can combat that is through gratitude. And an extremely strong feels my gratitude and exercise my thanks. 80%, I'm trying to get that down as low as possible and think good thoughts, and especially when in competition. We do have a mental training component to our program, which is something that I think differentiates us from a lot of programs, is that the players are learning more than just basketball skills. So when I say development, that's talking about the complete player and trying to help get them better wherever so take you from where you are to play at the next level. I can help them they can possibly have, but everybody on this call has a different ceiling, a different potential level. So as far as where players do better, players and people when it come to where they're at. So Willis is trying. I brought the drinks, so they might be coming to break into my car to get I got the Snapple. So just sorry for the distractions. Um, but and then resiliency, especially after a pandemic, I think resiliency speaks volumes about character, how you handle setbacks, how you handle adversity. It's easy to be a good teammate when you're winning. when everything's going your way, it's easy to be a good teammate. How do you handle setbacks? How do you handle adversity? How do you handle it when it's high school season or college season and you're tired and you're on a 2-game losing streak? How do you handle that? What type of teammate are you then? That speaks volumes about who you are and your character. So the R is for resiliency. The I is for intensity. I want our teams in grit to be intense. People say, Brant, you're a little intense, and I'd rather be thought of as a little overly passionate than, eh, meh. I don't want to be thought of as lukewarm. I'd rather be thought of as a little too intense, a little too passionate about what I care about and what's important to me. And so intensity is definitely one of the core values. And when I was thinking about grit, there is other good integrity and there's a lot of other I words out there that we could have went with, but we went with intensity because we want our teams and our players to be passionate, not just about basketball, but we want them to have a zest for life and find passions outside of basketball, because I'm a firm believer in the saying that, basketball is more, there's more to life than basketball. And there is that quote, that saying, ball is life. Ball is a part of my life. It's a big part of my life. It's not a big part of everybody's life, but it's a big part of my life, but it's a part of it. I'd rather be a good husband, a good father, a good person than a good basketball anything. And like I said, I love basketball. It's a game, though. It's the greatest game, but it's a game that can be taken away, whether that's with a pandemic, an injury, not making a team, whatever it might be. So that comes back to the G in gratitude. But I think there is more to life than basketball. That's why I always say that as long as you're communicating with me, we don't judge every missed practice the same. Some players are coming from far away, and some kids are coming from right down the road. So if you're coming from down the road, we'd expect you to be at more practices. If you're coming from a further away, we can work with you, but not communicating is not an excuse or not something that we'll take. But we don't want the 15-year-old's basketball schedule to rule the family calendar. So if you're coming from Roseburg, we don't expect you to be at everything, but when you show up, you better be all there. And when you're not showing up, you better be working. And just because you're at every practice doesn't mean you're going to play more than the kid that missed practices. We try to judge every case by case, and really try to get the players to know each other, like each other. And I think that solves some of the problems and headaches down the road. I get excited and I ramble, especially when it comes down to the T, togetherness. And that's why I love getting to run a club program. It's because I pick the kids that we work with. If I'm not enjoying it, then I'm picking the wrong families. Not players. I said families because this is bigger than just the players. Obviously, I want the best players, but more importantly, I want the best people, and more important, I want the best families. We're not equal opportunists. Not everybody gets the same leeway on shots. If you're a better shooter, you're probably gonna have more of a green light. If you haven't worked on your game as much, you might not. We're not equal opportunists. Not everybody gets the same opportunity, and that's a grown-up kind of adult lesson. The better you are at something, the more leeway you get. And the more leeway you get, the better you are at something, the more fun it is usually. But we want our players to kind of grasp that family, is family. I'd say family is more important than basketball, anything, but I want to see players that do stick to the T and we're together. I say this a lot. If you play hard and you play together, I'll live with the results. I want grit to be process focused, not outcome or results oriented or focused. I want us to focus on the process. Results will take care of themselves. If we play hard and we play together and we don't win a game, I won't be upset. Let's not get it twisted. I don't want to lose every game or am going to coach or want our guys to play that way. But sometimes in club basketball, you're going to run into teams that are just way better. And if you play hard and you play together and you lose by a lot, I'm not mad. If you play hard and you play together and you win by a lot, I'm happier, obviously. It's more fun to be the hammer than it is the nail. But I've won games by a lot and I've lost games by a lot. And I've been more upset after games that we've won than games that we've lost. And playing hard and playing together are non-negotiables. There's certain things that are negotiable. Playing hard and playing together would be two things that absolutely are not negotiable if you want to be a part of grit. Not everybody gets to play for grit. That's another thing I want to point out, that um, we're not negotiating, we're not cutting side deals with certain kids or certain families so other kids don't have to pay. I've had parents say, well, this team's going to let my kid start every game and they're going to cut me a deal. And I'd go play. I wouldn't go play for that coach because they're probably promising that same stuff to other players, but nothing, we're not promising playing time, starting time. It's not equal opportunity. I'll say that again. Those that put in more time and work, coaches do have favorites. And one warning sign or one thing I am leery of is when somebody says, the coach just didn't like me. It's the key. I think I cut out there for a second. Maybe I'm back. Give me a thumbs up if I'm back. Okay, sorry. I get excited and I ramble. I warned you, but it gave me a good time to refocus. So play hard, play together, not equal opportunist. Togetherness is not an option. Okay, next point. This is the tough one because I know we're all here expecting a schedule and cost and all that. Grit is building for the spring. So maybe I should have started with this so that way if you didn't want to listen to that first part, you didn't have to. But we are building for the spring team. We will have an unsigned senior piece. We'll have underclassmen piece, but we will have a fall max hoops event, which I know some of you guys have been to, but we will not have a team. We'll have some workouts. We will have some individual, I can help with individual workouts, but we will not have a formal team. So I apologize about that. And I know I was planning on it. And then with the numbers that we had and the other commitments that players have, a lot of players are playing with their high school, which I do not want to conflict with high school basketball because I had a great experience in high school. I loved my high school experience. So I want players to spend time with their high school programs in the fall if that's possible. But like I said, if you are interested, if you're watching this and you want to learn more about some of the individual stuff that I'm doing, or if you want to know more about the small group workouts that we'll be holding, feel free to reach out to me. I am a good texter, pretty good emailer. I do the email still, but I would say I'm a better texter than I am emailer. But I am good at emailing. I try hard to get back to everybody that sends a message or an email. And if I don't follow up, and I will get back the second time, and I will apologize profusely that I didn't return the first call, email, or text. But I want this to be a great experience. And I feel like when I was going through the kids that had said they want to play or that are committed, we had such a spectrum of ages and abilities that unless there's something that I don't know about, it was going to be hard to get a team that was competitive at the level that we want to be, because it's hard when you have some incoming seniors, incoming freshmen. So what we're going to do is we're going to have that fall showcase, and then we will have a spring program. We're looking to have Justin Lunt, the head coach at Pacific, back with us this spring. He was the head coach this summer. He's the head coach at the university. So I used to work for Coach Lunt. Now he works for me. But it is a great to have a head college basketball coach leading our program. Coach Willis, who was an assistant coach this last year, used to be the head coach at South Puget Sound Community College, will be involved. We have some of the best people, and that's something that makes me comfortable, is if I get coaches that I can trust. But I won't keep rambling, because some of you guys are hopefully a little disappointed that we're not doing a team, but hopefully also understanding in the situation that we're going through. And hopefully we'll still be able to make the Max Hoops event. It's looking like it'll be the last weekend in October. So hopefully we get that finalized here within the next week to 10 days. And you guys will be some of the first people that I reach out to. So definitely loved having you on the team, Jason, and definitely want you back this spring. I think your class, that incoming sophomore group, is going to be special. So want to see you this spring. But yeah, I appreciate you guys joining me today, Eric, Leif, Amy, Aiden, Jason, Joe, Miranda, Spencer. Thanks for hopping on. And I will go ahead and if you're watching this on replay and you have questions, feel free to reach out. My contact information is all on the website or on the emails that you got that I sent to you. But feel free to reach out if you're watching this on replay. If you're watching this live, hang on 1 second, because you're going to get to see Farmer Willis is walking up to my car right now, because we're celebrating this end of the year party. So Coach Willis, I think he might be on my earpiece. So I'm gonna switch this over and you can say hi to everybody. So I think Coach Willis is here. This is a great informational meeting. Oh, you might recognize Tyson. So about to celebrate the great summer season. Right. So I'm gonna get going. If you guys do have questions, I guess I'm gonna stop the recording and then ask these questions for the people that are here. And then